Hi, and welcome to our second video on the area forecast. In this video, we're going to talk about the elements of the area forecast. Now, we're going to stick strictly to the contiguous 48 United States because the area forecast in the 48 lower United States is a little bit different than one for Alaska or for the Caribbean or for the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll start out by just giving an overview of the area forecast. It is made up of 4 different sections. The first one is the communications and product header. So we'll take a look at that, and right off the bat you can see the area forecast starts out telling you the area that's being covered by this forecast. The DFW, of course, is Dallas-Fort Worth area. The C tells you it's clouds and weather. So the area forecast is giving you clouds and weather. And the FA is the abbreviation for the area forecast. Next is the date and time that it was issued. This is the 17th day at 10:45 on that particular day. The communication and product header also provides you the information that's included in this area forecast. For example, it tells you that it includes a synopsis and also VFR clouds and weather. Remember, that is VFR clouds and weather. Very important. There is no IFR weather included in this area forecast. Also, it tells you that the synopsis is valid until the 18th day at 5 Zulu. Next comes the forecast period for the clouds and weather section. It says that it's valid until the 17th day at 23 Zulu. If you look at that and compare it to the beginning of the header, you'll see that that is a 12-hour forecast. And then it also provides the last 6 hours as an outlook. So they say the outlook is valid from the 17th day at 23 Zulu until the 18th day at 5 Zulu. And then finally, the communication and product header ends with the area that is covered. In this case, the states of Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama are all covered in this forecast. The next element is the precautionary statement. And precautionary statements, of course, are a warning to pilots to heed the information and realize that only certain types of information are provided in the area forecast. So the first thing is that it says see AirMet Sierra for IFR conditions and mountain obscuration. And that is a warning to let you know that only VFR weather is included in the area forecast. There is no IFR weather included in the area forecast. Also goes on to say that thunderstorms imply severe or greater turbulence, severe icing, low-level wind shear, and IFR conditions. So the thunderstorm hazards are not explicitly given in the area forecast. You won't see any mentioning of severe icing, turbulence, or IFR conditions with thunderstorms. Just when you see them forecasted, you have to realize that those are implied. Also, the next line tells you that, of course, all the heights in this area forecast are MSL heights, and if they are AGL or CIG, they will be denoted by that. So MSL unless otherwise denoted. Next comes the synopsis. And the synopsis is just kind of an overview of weather patterns. It gives you the location of weather systems, fronts, pressure patterns, and other circulation features. The synopsis is valid for 18 hours, and it uses geographical descriptors. So in this one, you'll see ABI is Abilene, ELP is El Paso. So they'll give you locations, but also they'll give you large areas, such as they're telling you the cold front extends southwest of Pennsylvania, eastern Kentucky, northwestern Mississippi, southeastern Oklahoma, all the way down to MMB. So they give you regions. They can use these geographical area descriptors. We'll zoom in on these. So looking across areas of Oklahoma, you can see the northeast Oklahoma, southwest Oklahoma, but also the Oklahoma Panhandle. And a lot of these features are very familiar to people who live in those areas. If you don't live in those areas, it might be a little bit tricky. For example, in North Dakota, they will note the Red River Valley and also the Missouri Valley. Here's an example of the synopsis I put together with a current surface chart for this particular day. And it starts out saying, you know, that there is at 11 Zulu, there is high pressure over Abilene. And you can see that somewhat sitting over Oklahoma-Texas border. Abilene is just a little bit south, of course, of the Oklahoma border in central Texas. Also, it says there's low pressure over El Paso, and that matches up pretty well. You can see that. El Paso is in West Texas, just south of New Mexico. So some of these match up pretty well. You can't see the upper level features, of course, but you can see the surface features. On this map, you can see a cold front extending from the east coast near North Carolina, draping down across South Carolina into Georgia, and then into the Gulf of Mexico. And it looks like there's another cold front that is dropping down from the UP of Michigan, where there's a low pressure system all the way across Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, and down into Kansas. And then it kind of comes back up across the Mountain West through Wyoming and also Montana. So that is your second video for the area forecast.